Hi everyone and welcome to another Flosstube video on this channel, the first of 2023. This is Flosstube number 16 and today I'm going to talk about Stitchy Goals. But first, if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. It warms my heart that you want to spend some time with me. And if you are a new viewer, hi! My name is Marika. I'm from Stockholm, Sweden, where I live with my boyfriend and our two cats. And this channel is mostly about cross-stitching. So today I'm going to talk about goals. Goals are things that are obtainable and trackable, and I always had a very hard time setting goals, but I think this year I need to come to the point where I want to be, both with my cross-stitching and with my life. But before I started kind of looking at the goals, I was thinking about kind of the overall feeling for the year, and I picked word of the year, kind of something that can help you keep on track and kind of thinking, oh yeah, this is what I wanted to do with my life. This year, the word I am going to use is creativity. So creativity for me has so many meanings, and when it comes to my cross-stitching, it also has multiple layers, just like an onion. I want to be more creative in my stitching, so I want to, when I picked up a pattern, I want to maybe be a little bit more creative, kind of look at the pattern to see if there are changes I want to make. Like, I love so many patterns out there, but I want them to fit my aesthetic and my home just perfectly, and maybe that means changing a color or using a different fabric. We all have done that, so I want to be more aware of that when I start a new project. I also want to be more creative in how I do my finishes, because there's a lot of different kinds of way of finishing pieces, and I kind of want to vary how I do things. And lastly, I want to design more. I have done some designs in the past. I've been very creative outside of cross-stitching, and I kind of have made fabric projects and like stitching, knitting, quilting my main focus since about August of last year, and this year I want to put even more creativity and even more design into those kind of choices that I make. So yeah, that's the word of 2023 for me. Do you have a word? Are you a person that pick a word for the year? Do you have one? Is it just for your kind of cross-stitching, or do you have a word that is just for your life, or do you share it all across? Please tell me in the comment down below. So then when it comes to goals, we're going to talk with my first goal. The first goal of this year is that I want to stitch 12 Mill Hill Santa gnomes. Last year in like October, I think it was October that they arrived, I purchased a couple of Mill Hill kits from a friend, and I started stitching them. And I've stitched one Mill Hill kit before, but I think because I wasn't very organized with it, it wasn't as fun. This time I had little boxes to put all my beads in. It was very organized, would make it very seamless to stitch, and it was so much fun. And I really enjoyed the result, because they are like, they're beautiful on their packaging, but they're even more beautiful in real life. So already in October I knew that I want more, and I want to be able to put them in my tree during Christmas. So I kind of looked around for different Mill Hill kits, and then I found they have Santas, and then they released the Jim Shore gnomes, and I knew that I'm going to do a combination of these for my 12 Santas and gnomes. But I also know that sometimes I have a hard time to drive myself, so I thought maybe we should do a stitch along with this. Are you game? Do you want to? Are you a Mill Hill stitcher? Maybe you're not. Don't worry. I want to do a sal. So I came up with a little very simple hashtag of hashtag Mill Hill Santa Sal 2023. You have it down here. And I want you to join me if you want to. Any gnomes and any Santas. And just as a little note, in Sweden, both Santas and gnomes are called tomte. So basically they are the same, almost the same. But anyhow, it's the same word for them, and therefore the sal is perfect for them, right? I don't want to have too many rules, so the only rule I have is to join the sal. You want to stitch on one Santa or gnome this year. I'm going to stitch them January every month, January to December, so I'm going to have one each month. Now, when I was thinking about this in October, my little business slash I want to help you do things kind of a brain just says, what about you carrying the Santas and gnomes that you are going to stitch on in your store? So that is what I'm doing. And that is why this sound comes out very, very late in January, when it should have been announced in December, which I was supposed to do. However, I didn't have my delivery of kits until after I got home, or the week before. I don't remember which of those was, but the week before I went on vacation or after I came home, they came here. So I didn't have time to do all of the work around it. As I said, there's only one rule: stitch on one Santa or gnome through the year. That means that you can pick up this gnome or Santa in whatever store you want to pick them up. If you already have them at home, use them. If you already have one that you have started, you can continue working on that. You just want to stitch on one of them. However, I thought I'd show you which Santas and gnomes that I have chosen, and that is also which Santas and gnomes that you can find in my Etsy store, and they are linked in the description down below. Again, you don't have to buy them from there. It's just like a convenience thing for you, and maybe being able to build up my Etsy store for me. That is a part of my creativity journey. I've had my Etsy store since 2015, and for the past few years I haven't really put that much energy into it because of multitude of reasons, but I really want to build it up, and I want to use my creativity to do that. But yes, so let's get through the Santas and gnomes. I have a little box here with all of them, so I'm going to go through them. I have sorted them into which month I'm going to do them in, and I kind of like working on one series at a time, so they're basically grouped in series except of one, because you will find out. So the first one is the Lapland Santa from the Arctic Circle Santa series, and these Santas are from 2009. They seem to be releasing one Santa series every year. That is what I've seen from Mill Hill, or Witchelt, that is that releases them. But yeah, so they have one series of 3 Santas every year. This is from 2009, and Lapland was the one that kind of caught my eye, and like, this is the series we're going to work with. Lapland is a town in Finland, so it's kind of hits close to home. This is the little Santa. And then you have the pattern and thread and beads and needles in the kit. So everything you need, you find in the kit. But that was the Lapland Santa, and has that cute little reindeer. That is what I'm going to stitch in January. In February, I am going to stitch the Nunavut Santa from the same Arctic Circle series. It has that beautiful little polar bear. I think it's so adorable. So yes, that is Santa number 2. Santa number 3 is the last in the series, and that is the Greenland Santa, and that has a cute little sheep. So those are the 3 first Santa. The next 3 Santas comes from the Timberline series, and that is from 2022. So this is the latest series that they released. And the first one I'm doing is the Scotch Pine, and the reason for that is the red bird. I don't know why I wanted to have it in April, but thought it's my birth month. Let's choose what I want in my birth month, and that is this Scotch Pine Santa. So the Timberline Santas are all named after trees, after basically the green trees. So the third one I'm going, this is the 5th. This is for May, and that is the Douglas fir. The Douglas fir Santa. This is for May. It has a cute little bunny in the corner, which I thought was super adorable. And for June, I'm actually going to do the Norway Spruce. And this is actually the one reason why I picked up the series, is this Norway Santa, because I thought it was super cute. It has a little squirrel in the corner, over here, there you have a little squirrel. And also it is Norway, which is next to us. It's our neighboring country, so I thought that could be fun. For July, I'm going to do Christmas in July this year. That's just the thing. I kind of like the idea of it. So I picked up something that I felt was very Christmassy, and that is the Gnome Holding Holly. This is one of the Yimshore. The Yimshore series have 5 of them. So I have the whole series of this, and this was released in 2022. Then we go back to the Santas. For August, I'm doing the Christmas Morning, because I wanted something more like Christmassy, and this is from 2021, the series. I decided to do September is the Giving. I really like the shirts they put on these little Santas. And for October, I decided to go with Christmas memories. So that is that one. For November, now I only have the gnomes left, so I picked out 2 of the gnomes, and I have the gnome with ornaments for November, and I have the gnomes with wreath, or holding wreath, with wreath for December. So those are the ones that I have scheduled. I do have 2 more I'm going to show you, and I'm going to sprinkle them in. I'm going to finish 14 kits this year, however the plan is 12. So these are going to be extra if I have time for them. So the first one here is gnome holding presents. And then holding gifts actually. And then we have gnome with tree, which is the last one. And I have all these in my store. They are linked in the description down below, just so you know, but you don't have to buy them from there. Are you excited for 2023 stitching? Do you want to join myself? Please comment in the description down below, or in the comment section down below, and tell me. Or do you already have your 2023 full and planned? I want to leave a lot of space when it comes to my stitching, and that is what I have done. So this is basically the only thing cross stitch wise that is, these are the kits that I'm going to stitch. I'm definitely going to join a bunch of sales. I have joined a pattern, like getting a pattern a month for a house series. I don't have the patterns here, but you are going to see them throughout the year. I don't know if I'm going to stitch them all after I've gotten them all, or if I'm going to set everything up, but I need to figure out fabrics and stuff, and I haven't yet. So I've gotten 2 of those. Fat Quarter Shop went out with them in November, I think. But those are the only kind of things that I have planned. I have bought a bunch of things just to work with, and I do have, I think, 7 whips, but you are going to see them next week during my whip parade. So the next step, I'm going to keep my little box here. I have a little box, little plastic box where I have everything in. I'm going to keep it here because I want to show you some things. The next goal, my second goal, proper goal, yes, this is my second proper goal, is that I want to design, well, the goal was I want to design at least 1 pattern this year. However, I have kind of increased that to I want to design at least 4 releases this year, 1 each quarter. Why? Because I'm releasing my first pattern this week. I really wanted to be able to show you the pattern itself today, but I'm waiting for it to get delivered. They say they are going to deliver them the 24th, so in the middle of this week, that the coming week from this is uploading. This will be uploaded on Monday, and I think the 24th is on the Wednesday. Hopefully they will be arrived there, but as soon as they arrive, I will put a little note on the community tab in case you want to jump on them. I'm going to have them both as PDF and as paper patterns, and that is what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the paper patterns to arrive. Hopefully they don't look terrible. Hopefully they look good. I never have ordered paper patterns before, so I never ordered anything from this store before, so this is going to be an adventure. Anyhow, I wanted to start to talk about patterns, and I'm going to show you in a little while the projects that you can make with the patterns that I release in a couple of days. I have been designing cross-stitching. I tried to do this video a couple of days ago, but I've been suffering with a pretty bad migraine, so it was hard, but I'm feeling a lot better today, so I thought I'd record it. But I realized when I was trying to record it that I thought I have been designing cross-stitches since like 10 years ago or something. But I have actually been designing cross-stitch patterns since I was like 14 or 15. When I went to, I don't know if it was 8th grade or 9th grade, I really was into being creative, and I made my own knitting pattern, or I combined 2 different knitting patterns into a shirt. I also sewed a little shirt without having a pattern. I made from a very stiff material a shirt with like a dress shirt, but cropped dress shirt. It was super fun to do. It wasn't the best, but it was fun to do. And one of the things I did was I designed a little stitch that I was supposed to stitch on the little flaps on my dress shirt, but I never sewed it on, but I designed it. I also designed a cross stitch pattern for a cross with like a lot of swirls and stuff. After I'd done the design, I decided that maybe I should instead do it like rug design, I wanted to do a big jacket. I had a lot of ideas. I still have a lot of ideas, and that I remember this is just crazy. But I had all of these ideas that I never finished. But I do have the pattern somewhere. I haven't thrown it away. Anyhow, after I've gotten back into cross stitching and stuff like that, and about 5 to 10 years ago, I started designing. I designed a little like sunshine text thing, which I did stitch up, but I never released, because usually I design something, I stitch it up, and then I don't feel that it is good enough, because I have a lot of anxiety. But I did design something that I actually completed but never did the pattern of, and that is these autumn harvest project. And here's one of these examples when I bit off more than I could chew. The fabric behind this, let's see if they can, the fabric behind here is actually my own hand dyed, and then the threads are DMC. I think it's like 3 colors of DMC. Also have a little bit of beading, and I done all the like black work and everything. This is completely my design, and then I never released it, because when it comes to putting together like a little kit, which was the idea, and doing all of that, I just was overwhelmed. And also when I was designing this, I was on sick leave, or I was partly on sick leave, something like that. I have lupus, and my lupus was flaring for a bunch of years. I was diagnosed in 2013, I think, and I had like a constant low-grade lupus flare until like 2017. I also have chronic migraines, and in 2016, that was when we found out about them. It wasn't until like 17, 18 that I actually had medication that worked. So all through this, I did these things, and I never had the capacity to finish them. But yeah, I kind of like it. Do you like it? Do you think I should try to figure out where the pattern is and release it? It has actually sized to be fit in one of these frames. So that's kind of fun. Also, I don't know if you can see it, but the fabric I have done it on is glittery linen. And I think it is 32 count. Could be 36 count, but yeah. So that was kind of the last design that I made complete, even framed. However, this year, like in December this year, it's gonna be long stories today. In December this year, when I was in Florida, I finally I was sick, so I spent a lot of time in a sofa or in a bed basically, and I had a lot of ideas and was thinking and all of those things, and I'm like, I have this idea, I want to bring it to a pattern. That idea is still not a pattern, and I don't have to release it until May, so I'm pretty sure I will start designing it like 2 weeks before, because deadlines makes me work. I'm gonna try to design it before, but yeah. I was going to design that, and then I realized I wanted to stitch some small Valentine's projects, and this is where kind of the design was more out of a need than anything else. I didn't have any projects and any cross-stitch patterns that I could use for this, so in reality I wanted to go out shopping. However, the budget for our trip was, I think we spent more than double than we had budget for, and a big part of that was because of taxes, because of what's called exchange rate. The value between the Swedish crown and the dollar kind of went up fairly much during these couple of months, last months. So the hotel ended up costing us a lot of more money, because we are paid in SEK and not in dollar. So when the dollar is worth more, we will have to pay more, basically. And on top of that, inflation had risen prices for food and similar. So we ended up having to spend quite a lot of money on our trip that we hadn't really planned with. So for this month, and I think next month, I have to be a little bit more careful with my spending. So I decided to design my own projects. And I started with one, and I felt like, but I want a couple of designs. So in reality, I've designed 4, but it's only 3 that I'm releasing. I did design all of them, and then I stitched the first one, then I went in and did some changes to the second one, stitched that one, and I did some changes to the third one. So I basically just moved things around to make them feel more like an entity. What am I releasing this week then? Now we're coming to that. I am going to release 3 small patterns of teeny tiny pillows. They're teeny tiny pillows. By the way, I put these in my little Christmas tree, and my cat Leia goes and eats the strings of the Christmas tree things, so she has put a lot of hair on them. So I'm trying to remove as much hair as possible, but it's not super easy. So here they come. I have made these little cute pillows with little tassels on. I know I should probably not like my own patterns this much, but they're little pillows with tassels. Like, that's super cute, right? So what I've done is, for the patterns, I've just added this little fabric on the back side. This is Lori Holt's Be Basics. Just simple, super simple. I bought this to be a red fabric for Christmas, and then I got it and it wasn't red. That happens when you buy things online. But it went perfect with these colors. And then I have this Be Mine, which has some hearts and some text and little cute things. The second one is this Hugs and Kisses, also quite cute. Again, the same fabric on the back side. I have handmade these little tassels. And the third one is the Love You Lots, which again, I have a lot of repeat of the little pattern pieces. Has its little tassels, it unfocuses, and then the Be Basics. So these are the 3 patterns that I will be releasing now here next week, or this week, maybe. So yeah, I think they're super cute. I got the idea with the tassels from this big pillow that my grandmother woven. I'm pretty sure that is a woven piece. She really liked, she had a big, I don't know what it's called, that you weave on. Loom, is that the word? But the big one that you sit on and you weave. She loved doing that, and she did like patterned weaving. And this specific pillow, I don't have a photo of it, so you have to imagine it. It was like a natural, little bit like harder thread that went through it, and then you had red designs on it in a much kind of flowier thread, so you really get a texture difference. And then she had a very simple back side on it. I think that had a fringe all the way through, and then she had like big tassels in each of one corner. I thought it was so cute, so I'm like, this is what I'm going to do with these. I hope you like them. I have stitched mine on 18 count white Ida, 1/1, so they're very like delicate, the stitching. Let's see if I can get this to focus. There you go. So the stitching is very delicate on it because of that. And I actually got all 3 of these out of one skein of each color in the pattern. However, I think you need, if you're going to do the tassels and doing all of these, you might need an extra skein of that. So yeah, so these tassels are made of DMC. It's made of the same DMC as the light color. So yeah, again, they're going to be both as PDF and paper patterns, and I hope you like them because I kind of love them. I have another project in my mind at this moment, but I want to make sure to record this video before I start designing that pattern and get this video up and scheduled for you, so that was all done. My camera just turned off on itself. Like most cameras have a delimiter where it turns itself off after 30 minutes so it doesn't overheat. I had a friend tell me once that had nothing to do with overheating. It has to do with like taxes and stuff. Something about how video cameras are taxed differently. I don't know. And said that as long as the video is less than 30 minutes long, it counts as a camera and not as a video camera. Don't know about that, but that was what I was told. Anyhow, mine does that. I do have a battery connector that I can put into the electrical socket, and then it doesn't turn off after 30 minutes. But I'm moving all these things around, so it's kind of comfortable not having them. Anyhow, that's just me babbling. So those are my main goals this year. Well, I have one more goal. After talking your heads off for 30 minutes, I have one more goal, and that goal is to actually design patterns on fabrics and make knitting bags or project bags, not knitting bags, project bags for cross-stitching with that fabric. I have been looking at my project bag that I made last year, which I showed you on the channel, with the fabric that I designed, not in 2020, I think. And I'm so proud of that fabric, and I feel like I want to make more fabrics. So that is also a thing that I'm hoping to bring you the first quarter of this year, is a new fabric. Those are a little bit more kind of intense because you have to have more, I don't know, these little things I just sat and designed on my computer in the sofa, and I was really, really happy. So we'll see how when that will happen, but that is also a goal. So to repeat the goals that I have this year, the first one is I am going to stitch a minimum of 12 Santa gnomes from Mill Hill. And if you want to join me, the hashtag is Mill Hill Santa Sal 2023, and the only rule is to stitch on one Santa or gnome this year. But if you want to join me and stitch the same as I do, you can buy them from wherever you want to, but I also have them in my Etsy shop in the description down below. Goal number 2, I want to design a release of patterns for 4 quarters, and the first of those releases are going to go live this upcoming week, so the week the 22nd to the 26th, hopefully. And I will notice that in the community tab for this channel, but also in case there are any delays, I will talk about it next week. But I'm hoping that they come in so that I can put them up on my Etsy store and you can get them if you want to. Don't feel pressured to do it, but if you want to, because I had a lot of fun designing these little pillows. And my third and final goal this year, yes, I'm making it very easy for me, at least the beginning of the year, but the third and final is that I want to come out with some designed fabrics. And I'm aiming on 2 fabrics to begin with. I want to have 1 fabric on the outside of the bag and 1 fabric that is the inside and accent. So basically 1 that has more of a design and 1 that has a little bit more like just a texture, or like just something very tone on tone simple that you can have as accents, both on the outside but also as the inner fabric. I kind of like working that way. So that is the plan for the first quarter for the fabrics. I have a lot of things I want to do the rest of the year, but none of them that I want to set up as goals. And I'm thinking about coming back to my goals in a quarter, so basically end of March, beginning of April, kind of talk about where I am at with my goals, and also if I'm adding something, because if I finish all my goals in the first quarter, then maybe I can add some new goals to keep things kind of moving forward. But yes, that is all for me this video. It's a little bit of a longer video, but I hope you enjoy it anyhow. And I will see you next Monday. And I hope you have an awesome week. I hope you have a lot of fun stitching. Next week I will show you all of my whips and talk about where I'm planning in my schedule to have them. They are not goals, they are just kind of planned in there because I am a seasonal stitcher. I want to make sure that I have room for other stitches too. But anyhow, I want to say thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please thumbs it up, it means a lot to me. If you have any comments, comment down below. I will try to get back to you as soon as possible now that I feel a lot better. And I will see you next week. Bye!